What was the greatest advice you have received in your life that has stuck with you throughout your career?
Probably from my mom, is to follow your dreams. And from my pops, can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah, can't stop, won't stop. I like that. All right. I actually like the message of that because, you got to keep on going forward no matter what anyone says.
You know what's up.
What's one misconception about you?
There are no misconceptions about me.
In a dramatic courtroom confrontation, Christian King Combs, the eldest son of Sean Diddy Combs, unleashed a powerful accusation against his father. "You destroyed our family," King shouted, his voice echoing through the courtroom as he faced Diddy, who stood accused of serious federal charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking. The tension in the room was palpable as King detailed the emotional and familial turmoil caused by his father's alleged actions.
That used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended performances with male commercial workers.
King Combs has been a constant presence at his father's court hearings. Alongside his siblings, King has shown unwavering support for Diddy during this challenging time. Despite the serious nature of the allegations, King and his family have stood by Diddy, attending hearings and court appearances to demonstrate their solidarity. This support underscores the complex and deeply rooted family dynamics, even amidst the turmoil caused by the accusations against Diddy.
How are you doing this morning? How's the coffee, Justin? Let's see. How are you doing this morning? How's the twins?
No problem.
Diddy's children and family have shown their steadfast support throughout his court hearings. Their constant presence in the courtroom is a testament to their strong familial bond and loyalty. Despite the gravity of the charges, the family has united, showcasing a front of solidarity and strength.
He was wearing a khaki prison-like jumpsuit when he appeared inside court, and his family appeared on their end very just happy to see him. Now, I will say, when I was inside the courtroom, I was a little bit towards the back right side of the gallery, and so for seeing Sean Combs, I had to look through a few heads and stuff like that. But again, he appeared just kind of confident walking inside that courtroom.
You've been able to speak to your son.
What did you say to him when you visited him in court? Is he doing? How are you feeling today?
During his previous court hearings, Diddy received special support from his mother, who flew in from Florida specifically to attend his court trial. Her presence at the courthouse underscores the importance of family during this challenging time for the music mogul.
He's a predator.
When is the last time you spoke to your son?
Predator and he deserves to be locked up.
When's the last time you spoke to your
He's a
son?
predator. Do an interview with me. His son is a predator.
Anyone else?
However, in the recent court hearing of Diddy, only two of his oldest sons, King Combs and Quincy Brown, were present to show their support. Their presence, however, seemed to provide a boost to his morale during what has been an emotionally challenging time. Sources close to the family reveal that his children are struggling to cope with the stress of their father's legal troubles, but remain supportive.
This time it was a lot smaller bunch than it was the last time. So last time you're having all of Diddy's children, except with the exception of Love, who is just a 2-year-old child. So she was wasn't at court, but you had all of Diddy's children there except Love. But this time around, you just had Justin Combs and Christian Combs, meaning that there was no Quincy there today. Delilah and Jesse weren't there. Chance wasn't there. And the caretakers of his younger children who aren't of age just yet, they were not present inside the courtroom as well today. But his mom also wasn't in court today.
Now, he won't be going home for the holidays. He's been denied bail 3 times. That didn't stop him from hugging every single member of his legal team. Now, let me show you some of the video from today. His son, Christian Combs, who he's very close to and actually created music and some hit songs with, known professionally as King Combs, was once again at the federal court to support his dad, flying in from Los Angeles to let his father know he was still in his corner and to show everyone that he was standing by him.
Diddy has always shared a close and loving relationship with his son. From red carpet appearances to family vacations, Diddy has been seen as a hands-on, supportive father who constantly uplifts his kids. Now, as his son takes a stand to defend him in court, it's clear that their connection goes far beyond the public eye.
You go to him to play something, it feels like a little pressure now because you know, like he's a hard critic. But at the same time,
but he will criticize.
Yeah, for sure. But nah, I mean, he always tells me, like, yo, it's your choice, whatever you put out. It's not like he's like, yo, you can't drop this, you can't drop that. It's just, you know, I really value his opinion and, you know, whatever he says. And really, but I'm my own man, so it is whatever I say. But at the same time, like, I know that I got to work hard and I got to just prove myself and that I got big shoes, a big legacy to fill.
So your pop, he had a comment about R&B, and he said, as far as right now, R&B is dead. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, but I mean, he probably just not getting that feeling that he really needs. Cause you know, if anybody knows what R&B should sound like, it's my pops. Cause you know, he really like started that back in the 90s. So, you know, he probably right. Probably they gotta be some more good R&B out there, or they gotta dig a little deeper or something. Yeah, it's a lot of fire R&B people out there, but it's like, for me, if you ask that question, it probably should pop up right away. That's what he means.
Even though King has been constantly supporting his father, recently it seems like he is going through a very difficult and emotional time. It's understandable that he might feel frustrated, especially with the intense public attention and ongoing legal issues surrounding Diddy. King Combs' statement about his father potentially destroying the family indicates how deeply the situation is affecting him personally.
What's your thoughts about your comparisons to your father? Like, when people say, you know, we act similar, sound similar, I just take it as a compliment because, you know, he's one of the swaggiest dudes on this earth.
Give me 2 pros and 2 cons of being your father's son.
I would say, you know, he's a dope dad. He lit. You know, I got to watch him as I grew up, be a fly on the wall, go to shows. He inspired me to, you know, be a rapper. Another pro is, you know, put me on game. 2 cons is that in the dance battle, it'd be getting a little tricky. Like, he'd be trying to get the best of me, I ain't gonna lie. Another con is, you know, when he be on his I wanna work for Diddy move, when he just be spazzing on you. You know, he sent the dude to get some cheesecake.
You know something? I want me a piece of cheesecake.
He ain't never sent me to get no cheesecake, but you know, it's all about the hustle and to make you better, so.
Friendly competition in the crib at all?
Yeah, the other day he was charting higher than me out of nowhere, and they just like delivered me the message, and I was just like, I know that's my son, but he's not getting to #1 before me. I said, that is not the way we come back in together.
Blackballed.
No, I didn't blackball him. I just told my team to turn up, and I felt so proud. Like, I felt like just so proud that he was higher on the chart than me.
Who's higher now? He is?
I don't think as of today, but
but you got more resources. That's not fair.
Yeah.
You guys go straight.
Hey yo, it's just like running a race with your pops. You know what I'm saying?
Now, how did you get Young Miami on the remix?
So I chatted with your papa last week, you know, because he's got this new album, the Love album, off the grid.
Can't wait. The best album of the year, guys. Like, seriously, we've been listening to it for years. you know.
And it's amazing. We've seen it like be created and like
bottom to top, and it's killer. The development is woo.
So you're proud of your papa on this
Yes.
one.
Oh yeah.
And it's definitely got a different vibe and tone. It's definitely more R&B of Diddy, right?
Yeah, it gives you the R&B, just like love. It's just love in the album.
However, some critics are whispering that King Combs' defense of his father might go beyond the typical father-son bond. Critics are suggesting that King Combs is stepping up not just out of loyalty, but because he fears the spotlight of controversy could soon shine on him as well.
Sean Diddy Combs' son is accused of blank assault in a lawsuit that also names Diddy as a defendant. Ooh. They said Sean Diddy Combs, who is subject to a federal blank trafficking investigation, has been named as a defendant in a new lawsuit that alleges his son, Christian, aka King Combs, the music mogul, had chartered for a trip at the end of 2022. If you guys don't know, remember that show on Bravo, Below Deck, about people that work on luxury yachts? Apparently this girl's a legend. It was just like Below Deck, but it was mixed with Sodom and Gomorrah. This girl was actually fired, so the yacht company's probably in trouble too. She claims she has tapes that proves it 100% wasn't. Baby. The allegation is the latest in a wave of lawsuit accusing Diddy of blank assault, blank trafficking, and engaging in other criminal activity.
If he is convicted, he faces decades behind bars. His lawyer says that Diddy is not only not guilty, he is innocent. As I speak right now, he is about to go into federal court to hear the charges and answer. He is expected to plead not guilty. He has surrendered his passport, and it appears he is trying to get bail.
It seems like King Combs does not pick only the good genes of his father. Similar to Diddy, his son is also surrounded in many controversies and allegations.
New audio has surfaced as part of a lawsuit that accuses Christian Combs, Sean Diddy Combs' son, of sexual assault. The music mogul is not accused of sexual assault in the lawsuit, but is included over allegations of liability and aiding and abetting. The lawsuit cites audio from a makeshift recording studio on the yacht where the alleged assault happened.
Christian Combs has been accused of misconduct in a recent lawsuit. The allegations stem from an incident that reportedly took place on a yacht in late 2022. The lawsuit claims that Christian Combs exploited a woman who was working on the yacht at the time.
Christian Combs, as we were talking about, is facing his own legal scrutiny. On April 4th, this was days after the simultaneous raids at Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami, a woman named Grace O'Markey filed a civil lawsuit against Christian Combs. And according to that civil complaint, O'Markey, 25 years old at the time, says that she worked as a steward on the yacht that Combs had rented, and she was in charge of providing food and drinks for a 12-hour period. This was the yacht that Sean Combs had rented. And she believes that on that yacht had been laced with because she says women would have one drink and then almost immediately pass out or start falling over, which is kind of consistent with what the allegations are in Sean Combs' criminal indictment. But O'Markey says that Christian Combs had been staying at a villa on the shore, but then would come onto the yachts in the evenings to party. And
the victim has alleged that she was given illicit substances by King Combs before the misconduct took place. Christian Combs and Diddy have denied these allegations, and his legal team is working to address the claims made in the lawsuit.
This is the latest in a series of lawsuits filed against the rap mogul and businessman. Both men, father and son, deny the allegations against them. CNN national correspondent Camila Bernal joining me live with details on this. Camila, what more are you learning?
Hey, Fred. So in this audio that CNN has listened to, you can specifically hear the accuser who alleges that she was being forced to take this tequila shot that she believed was laced with drugs. And in the audio, you can hear her asking Christian Combs if she was being drugged, and he answers, "Take the shot." Now, just to put things into perspective, the accuser was a crew member on the yacht. She was a bartender, and she says that shortly after this incident with the shot, she says she was cornered in a room. She says things became aggressive and physical, and then says that Christian Combs forced himself on her, and then says that it wasn't until another employee on the yacht came into this room that the abuse that she is alleged alleging in this 31-page lawsuit stopped, and she says it only stopped because that person came into the room.
Meanwhile, during the court appearance, details surrounding the charges were discussed, but Diddy did not make any statements to the press as he left the courthouse. His team has remained tight-lipped about the situation, leading to speculation about his next steps and how he plans to address these serious allegations.
Now, this hearing was mostly about procedural issues, working through some of the evidence in the case. Prosecutors said they collected 96 devices back in that March search of Combs' homes in Los Angeles and Miami. And when they searched him on his person, they said they'd begun going through them, encrypting some of them and giving them back to the defense. That will take some time. There are going to be some motions in this case. One of those was addressed today. Now, if the judge does not need them back in court, the next time we will see Combs back in court will be in December.
Federal prosecutors in New York have extended the time frame of the alleged crimes from 2008 to 2024, adding more victims and detailing additional instances of misconduct. The indictment includes accusations of Combs mistreating not only women, but also his employees and others around him. One particularly disturbing allegation involves Combs allegedly dangling a victim over a balcony.
Another lawsuit for Diddy. Now, this time, a woman by the name of Brianna Bongalan filed a lawsuit in LA Superior Court suing Diddy for sexual battery, false imprisonment, and other claims. Now, she's saying that he dangled her over the edge of a balcony at Cassie's apartment in 2016. She was staying with Cassie when Diddy came over late night. At some point, he tried to grope her, and when she declined, he got super angry and allegedly held her over the balcony. Eventually, she claims that Diddy pulled her back up, and he allegedly slammed her into patio furniture, a table. So she's suing him for $10 million in damages.
Yo, bro, if half the things they say about this man are true, this is a movie villain bad guy.
On the same day, Sean Diddy Combs was denied bail by another federal judge. Again, he was slapped with another lawsuit, this one for $10 million. The plaintiff in this case is a friend of Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, and she's seeking $10 million in damages from the embattled music mogul. Fashion designer and photographer Brianna Bongalan, also known as Banna, filed her lawsuit last week in Los Angeles Superior Court, accusing the Bad Boy Records founder of battery and dangling her off a 17th-story balcony. The balcony incident was briefly mentioned in Cassie's now settled federal lawsuit against Combs. However, she didn't mention her friend by name. The singer claimed in the middle of her 29th birthday, Combs pressured her to leave a party to go to a freak-off.
Harvey, it's great to have you on tonight. Thank you so much for this. I kept wondering if sweetening the pot in a bail offer with no more money and just an offer not to see girls was going to make a whiff of difference to a federal judge.
You know, I got to say, there was somebody in my office today in our morning meeting who actually made a really interesting point. She said, if you have to tell a judge, I swear I won't be around women, that in itself should be enough to deny bail.
Despite these serious charges, Combs has pleaded not guilty and remains incarcerated without bail, awaiting his trial scheduled for May 5th, 2025. His defense team continues to challenge the allegations, arguing that the prosecution's theory is flawed and that the charges are based on consensual acts.
Prosecution's case is strongest the day it's filed because you don't hear the defense. So I don't know. I mean, you know, one of the things that's very clear is that they're going to argue that a lot of this was consensual. They're going to argue that the were consensual, that the use was consensual. I think they're going to have a huge problem with the Cassie video. But I think this is going to be a deny defense.
So you think he did none of these things? He was never present in any of these activities? This wasn't his lifestyle?
But a lifestyle and being present in activities doesn't mean he committed a crime.
Unless those activities and that lifestyle are criminal.
But those activities and the lifestyle is not criminal. What was notable today, what my partner Mark said in court, is they never once said that these women didn't consent to what happened. Not once.
Can they all have consented, or were they minors and therefore the consent doesn't apply?
No charges relating to minors. None. The difference here between R. Kelly, between Epstein, no charges relating to minors.
Diddy's defense team has even issued a letter to the judge refuting media claims about the tapes involved in the case. They argue that the tapes do not depict illegal activities, such as secret recordings, illicit gatherings, the involvement of minors, or underground tunnels.
Diddy's defense team has issued a letter to the judge stating that, quote, contrary to innumerable sensationalistic media reports, the sex tapes that are currently part of the case do not depict sex parties. There are no secret cameras, no orgies, no other celebrities involved, no underground tunnels, no minors.
Instead, they insist the videos show consensual encounters, which aligns with their defense strategy of proving consent rather than coercion. The defense is pushing to retain access to the tapes for review, despite protective orders restricting Diddy from having a personal copy.
So what the defense has done is they're taking an interesting tack, and I think the legal analysis is becoming fascinating. And they're saying if you look at these videos, this shows a consensual relationship. If you was. The great thing for them, for their defense about that is that's in the past. All the folks on social media and so forth are saying, well, these people they're saying they're, don't forget. It's easy to prove the court of public opinion, but when you get into an actual court, the federal government has approved their case beyond a reasonable doubt. And someone just getting on the stand and saying, I was, the defense can ask a very simple question. Where's the test? Where's the proof? You just saying it now, there's a lot that's going to happen, and I understand what the defense is doing. There's like, this is consent, and if it is consensual, butt-naked baby oil parties aren't illegal. What's illegal is the trafficking aspect of this case, and they're saying there is no trafficking.
Many legal experts are expressing skepticism about whether P. Diddy's trial will actually begin in May, citing the involvement of multiple underage victims as a significant factor that complicates the case.
Think that there's no way this trial is then going to happen in May?
It's unlikely, especially if there's a superseding indictment involving minors, because minors present a completely different set of circumstances, because we know through his lawyers, Combs is arguing that the sexual activity happened, but it was consensual. Of course, for sex trafficking, you need one of those three elements: force, fraud, or coercion. Obviously, minors cannot consent to any sexual activity, so that would be a very different defense entirely. The defense would have to be that the activity didn't happen at all and the individuals are lying. So I think that's going to be the potential game changer if we do get the minors wrapped up into a superseding indictment. And we know, at least if you believe the civil attorneys, there are 25 minor victims, one of which is as young as 9.
The presence of minors as victims typically introduces additional legal considerations, including issues related to their ability to testify and the protections that must be in place to safeguard their identities and well-being.
They say this: for decades, Sean Combs, the defendant, abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice here.
I think I made my point clear. So if child welfare come in here in 30 minutes, that's on y'all. My kid's downstairs. 15 minutes, the kids have to go. Thank you very much.
Recent findings in the ongoing legal case against Diddy indicate that 120 victims have come forward with allegations against him. This significant number of claims could greatly influence the proceedings, putting additional pressure on Diddy and his legal team.
As I said, our law firms have been retained by 120 individuals at this point to pursue cases in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs. You should know, in this group, it is evenly divided between males and females. There are 60 males and 60 females.
What are your thoughts on King Combs' recent statement about his father? Do you think family bonds can survive such intense public scrutiny? Share your opinions in the comments below.